We fucked up the last recording, so this is a retake, but we were just talking about how I personally hate daylight savings. And V doesn't really mind, but she hopes that our channel could do better. And I said we could with more clickbaity themes and covers and thumbnails.
Like to our real subscribers, let us know down in comment section what we could do to pique your interest or anything you want to let us know in improving our channel will be welcome. Be
Let
nice
us know
though.
if you're an actual human being down in the comments below. Thank
Be
you very
nice though.
much.
Be nice though. Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely need more inspirations in generating new content because this one we totally went out on a limb. Like it's been a while since I'll just say the title of the name of the film for today, which is Mulholland Drive by David Lynch, and he's passed like for a bit, and I do think it's a good one to talk about like anytime, because it's such a classic,
A timeless film, yeah.
because it's on like m most people's watch list, like everyone want to watch it at one point of their life, and I know Tiana did, as well.
Yeah, and I finally got the opportunity to watch it. And I really like us doing this podcast. This is another reason. Instead of like not only us getting in touch, but also it's an opportunity for me to try out new genres of movies that I would never um venture into willingly myself. And it's been a very interesting adventure. There are way more movies out there than horror movies that I typically watch.
Right, right. No, how would you categorize this one though? Like, if you had to say, like, I guess summarize in like two or three genres for Mulholland Drive?
Surrealistic, psychological mystery or suspense, I think.
Wouldn't you say like thriller is part of it? Like,
Yeah, thriller, but I don't think it's that scary. There is that imminent sense of
or like suspense.
dread and fear, suspense throughout,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel like it was like it did send me through a lot of emotional loop-de-loops,
Mm.
but I was like mo for I think for like a lot of people watching the movie for the first time, they'll be just as confused as I felt, and most of the emotions was just confusion. And I was watching it with Rex, and we're like, huh? And then it was so funny because he was like physically scratching his head half of the movie. And I was like, are you doing this out of confusion? He's like, yeah.
Did he like the film?
Do you like the film? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, is what he's saying. But
That was a long, like 5 seconds. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Um so I know you really love this movie. So what do you love about it? I know it's your second watch. It's my first watch today. How different do you feel watching it a second time?
Dude, even like on my first watch, I rated it a 5 out of 5, but I felt like that was more like to be like, wow, it's so amazing. I didn't understand at all, but 5 out of 5 out of respect, like that kind of rating. But this time, like, I've never experienced anything like this because for Persona, for example, like I watched it 3 times, but the third time watching only got me to like probably 40% of understanding it. But for this film, like I straight up like step by step every single thing that's happening, I understand along the way. So I'm like how calm that like the second time watching it, I have like 80% of understanding. Like and I know I've seen some analysis or read some stuff after my first watch, but it's been a while, so like I don't understand anything from the analysis. I don't remember anything from the analysis. Um,
Hmm.
but this time, like I feel like I'm decoding as I'm watching, which is so interesting. Um, I don't understand how my brain works. Like, so I can't explain.
But
But
that's like the most magical thing about this film. I feel like for myself, for both of us watching it together, in the beginning we were very confused because there seemed to be like a stab of this event and stab of that event, like we said, just like a random transcendence of events. But later in the end, where the last fourth or one-fifth of the movie,
Mhm.
where it actually turns into reality,
Mhm.
um, at that point I was still a little bit confused. I thought that part was another kind of dream setting or kind of illusion or something. But
Mhm.
at the end, the pieces sort of fell kind of into place. I did feel like my brain exploded a little bit. Like it didn't explode like bam, kind of explode. It went like a very condensed kind of fart, Like a
Like your brain survived a car crash and now
like a
it's
supernova. Yeah, like it collapsed in on itself. I don't even know if that's a supernova, but it collapsed into itself. And later when you read analyses, you think, oh, that makes sense now. That makes so much sense now. And you realize it's like what it's structured to be. And for people that's watching it a second time or analyzing it and critics looking at it, they can all come to the un kind of universal conclusion that most people agree that it's a dream. And that's amazing because we all dream, but all our dreams are so abstract and different. Yet this movie, something rooted in reality, can make us feel like we've all transcended that reality and entered into a state of consciousness that the director wanted us to feel and be in, and that's amazing to me.
hmm I agree. Yeah. I
We
just
were all dreaming. Yeah.
yeah. But like would you say that your dreams are because I know we've talked about your dream like personally, like you and I talking about your dreams
Yeah.
being pretty fucked. Um
Yeah.
like are they fragmented like as fragmented as the first three-fourths of this film? Like out of nowhere, two dudes are sitting in a diner talking about their fear of man behind the wall. Like,
Do you ever have dreams? Like, I have so many dreams where I just dream of complete strangers, or sometimes even I'm a stranger. Do you get those kind of dreams?
I don't get anything about me being a stranger because I always feel pretty present. If I'm dreaming about like situations I'm familiar with, I always feel like pretty present. My,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see myself as a third person. Yeah.
What are your dreams like? Are they rooted in reality? I feel like this was one of the themes that I really wanted to talk about with you because it's fun. Just talking about dreams in general and what yours are like.
hmm Like my dreams recently are like it's been like 2, 3 months or something. Like I did
Mhm.
recurring dreams like even before that, but like for the recurring dreams, I was always like, wait, did I actually dream of this actually in the past, or was it like a phantom or like that kind of thing? Like I always doubt it myself in terms of is this a second occurrence of the same theme? But recently, in like 2, 3 months, for some reason, I've been dreaming of this those streets in Portland or something. Like streets in Portland, streets in like uptown New York where it's pretty vacant, but there's like stores. There's like tons of like boutiques and vintage shops and stuff. And in all of my dreams, I was trying to make sure I hit every spot on the route, but in every dream that I've had in these past 2, 3 months, I'm late. I'm unable to get anything I want from the stores because I have to wait for people or because I manage my time poorly or because the shops close too early. Like I swear I've dreamt of this for like 3, 4 times for no reason. Because in real life I always hit every store I want to hit. Like I always am able to shop and manage to like plan my routes super correctly and super efficiently. But I don't know why in my dreams I was so and I like every single time I wake up, I'm like, how the heck did I like fail in my dreams? And like I just feel like
Mhm.
I can't really explain it because such a successful shopper in real life. Like, can you help me with the explanations?
I don't know. Like, I'm just guessing here. I'm not. like my psychology major again, it's in neuroscience. It doesn't have anything to do with social psych. But I mean, it's all if you assume the Freudian psychoanalytic perspective, then everything, all the details in your dreams are going to be a projection or suppression of things that are going on in your real life, right?
Mm,
So, you have to take it more symbolistically instead of realistically, and maybe because vintage shops and clothing stores are sort of like your hobby and where you place your a lot of your love and your attention to. So that could be, I don't know, a symbolism of your dreams or hopes or like goals that are in your life, or things that you like to do. But right now, you feel, I'm just guessing, I feel like a bad tarot card reader. Or right now, you feel like maybe because of realistic reasons or objective reasons, life is a little spiraling out of your control and you can't get to the destinations where you want to be.
mm. So it's not
Maybe that,
like not being able to get what I want is the theme, but I just projected it onto like a shopping situation or like shopping scenario.
yeah, that's what I would guess. But again, I'm just rambling. I don't know.
No, that's a good. That's also like, I think my dreams are also like relevant because I was trying to shop for my birthday, which has passed.
Mhm.
Like I was like doing some online shopping and surfing around and I couldn't find anything that sparked my interest. So it was like a long time searching, but no like fruitful like gets, I guess. So but that's
Disappointment
also, yeah,
overall.
a disappointment. Yeah. I have like plenty of time like just surfing and stuff, but couldn't get anything that's worth my time, I guess, is the reality in terms of shopping. But I think you're right, like blending what's going on with my main trajectory with like a shopping scenario, using that as a metaphor for what's going on in my life, which isn't much right now. Yeah. But thanks for
Yeah.
analyzing.
I don't know. Okay, just take it with a grain of salt. I'm trying to look
Like
through my old like teaching slides on
I
dreams.
like I took my dreams like as like literally, so I like shopped yesterday and the day before yesterday. I shopped
I'm
like
gonna get through all the shops.
I actually went like, walking my legs, like I carried myself to these locations and bought a ton of shit. And at least I didn't dream of shopping last night, so I guess I cured
Maybe
myself.
that satiated your hunger. Maybe you just had a simple hunger for shopping and getting something that you want to get,
Yeah,
you know?
that's my original guess, and that's why I took myself shopping for 2 days.
Do what your dream tells you to do.
Yeah,
But remember about like the dream that I told you about a few days ago where I dreamed that you and I were on like a secret spy mission or something?
yeah.
But I don't know. My dreams are,
We could
I
be
can't
Rita.
analyze my dreams.
We could be Rita and Betty. You were like, foretelling us watching the film, or you were foretelling the content of this film that we just watched.
But we weren't kissing. We were not doing that.
Like would be sending a killer my way if we were. Remember last time in our last video where so
He's
in
like,
this like contemporary time, what's the most drastic thing you imagine yourself do when you can't get who you love?
Kill the other one, and I don't know.
Kill the other person?
Yeah,
the
You see
third person
yourself doing
or the
that?
person that you can't get?
not the person I can get. Yeah, I'll just kill whatever. Turn
The
myself
person
into,
who's getting in your way, you'll kill that person. That's the
or
like
all of them.
All of them, he says. That was a fun one. We should do more of those too.
no for
I
sure.
like
Yeah.
I like that one.
Next time we'll structure it a bit better and you can test me too next time.
Yes.
But if you were to psychoanalyze Diane, I guess, Diane's motivations or the reasons she was like conjuring up those images in her dreams, like how would you psychoanalyze her?
It's too hard. Like, just looking through a lot of the what's it called again? TSC, a lot of the analyses
Mhm.
on the movie. there's so many, and there's a lot of people working in clinical psych, um, dealing with actual patients. They talk about their perspectives too, and a lot of people, I think a lot of the fans of this movie converge on the idea of being this movie is an exploration or a manifestation of the sexual abuse that
Hmm.
Diane has experienced as a child. I read a lot about that.
I have
Like,
not.
I don't see it either, but apparently if you watch it enough times, it'll come to you, as some people say,
What?
because there's a lot of repression of, well, I don't agree with that either, but I've only seen this movie once, and I definitely need to watch it again to form a deeper understanding myself.
Like,
But I'm just throwing this out to you because that's what I read in some of the more professional articles
dude,
discussing it out there. But again, I haven't read a lot of them, so.
now they're talking about it. I feel like one could say like the audition in the dream sequence where the older man was like doing all that, and also the fact that she in her dream invented the plot to be like an old dude, like kind of forcing her to be in a relationship, and her trying to kill that old dude who's like being creepy and stuff. I think it makes sense. um
Oh yeah, you mean the acting scene? Yeah, 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 yeah.
the fact that
That scene was so like it was so unsettling for me. Like out of the whole movie, that was the most unsettling one.
also I wanted to talk about that scene because like second time watching, I know that, the first part is a dream and Betty is like more of an ideal version of herself, of Diane.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then like her acting was like, wow, amazing, Hollywood, like Los Angeles. Wow, it's very, very like melodramatic and unrealistic, but for some reason Betty's acting within that scene felt so naturalistic, even though it's a scene within a scene, it's a scene within a dream within a film. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to be the most like not pretense, but the most artifice, but it felt the most real to me because
Yeah, you know,
how
like the guy Bob on the side, sorry for cutting you short, but I just really want to preface this in. Bob was saying, you know, you got to feel it. Something along the lines of that. Like
like
you,
I'm re reacting, acting is reacting. I'm
yeah,
giving
yeah, yeah.
what you're giving me. Um, Yeah, like
Yeah.
watching that scene, I was so amazed because I straight up didn't remember
Hmm.
how natural it felt. Like, even though it's like artifice upon artifice upon artifice, but it just felt the most real. Maybe that's where the psychoanalysis was coming from, like,
Hmm.
or feeling the most raw and real. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, and the most tangible thing you can grasp within the dream.
Emotionally, yes, for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. That made me real like that scene made me really uncomfortable to the point where I was like, okay, in the beginning, not in the beginning, but like throughout most of the course of the dream, a lot of it was like confusion and hee hee ha ha.
Hmm.
But there was when it captured me and captivated me the most, and I was absolutely like engrossed in what was happening and the emotions that were being tossed back and forth. And I was like, whoa, what is this?
Wow,
But
that's so interesting because I feel the same, like I didn't feel I mean I felt like you couldn't get super invested in the character Betty because all she was giving was wow, oh like oh my gosh, welcome to my home, and like oh we're gonna hop onto this mystery together, you and I, like a lot of just brave go-getter, like brazen kind of wide-eyed
yeah,
bushy-tailed
yeah,
like innocent person. But that scene just made me feel like she's such a real person, even though she's acting. I don't
yeah.
know, like
Hmm.
I get what you're saying completely because that scene showed me how real she is as an actual person. Almost as if like outside of that is the actual acting. Like she isn't that bushy-tailed, like innocent, doe-eyed person. And this, whimpering, like kind of loudly whispering person is the reality. I felt
Hmm.
inverse.
Something much darker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
inverse. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. but like in just talking about Betty, it's really funny because at the beginning, of course, you don't know it's a dream, right? So you just walk in with the assumption that everything is real and actually happening. And the first scene where she gets off the plane and sees and opens like the wa and goes back home, opens the washroom's door and sees like a naked lady in her bath, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, what? And then she goes on being so nice to this rando person, like just I
She's
don't know.
just like Snow White, you know, like Snow White or like Cinderella.
Yeah, like that. Oh, oh, that kind of yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I was like low key pissed inside about that. I was like, why are you so nice? They were weird.
No,
But
like I guess society isn't nice to women. And also, like, our instinct is to be like, why are you so fake in a way when we see her being like, oh, what's your name? Oh, sorry. Like, not suspecting anything of this naked woman who just randomly at her aunt's house, you know? Like,
yeah.
in my heart, I was also kind of pissed. I was like, why are you being fake?
Kick her out already. What
Like,
are you trying to prove?
you know, like in the past, Anne Hathaway got some shit by
Oh
being
yeah.
perfect. I think it's the same. Because if a woman is just so perfect and doesn't seem to be bothered by
But,
anything,
like she's like I think she was criticized because she was perfect, but then tried too hard to make herself seem less perfect. I think that
so
was the issue.
that's Jennifer and that's Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sorry. Like that's
Oh, okay. I can't.
she
I
like
I can recognize their faces. I don't no
right.
association with their names.
Like no, Anne Hathaway works hard, but society is just tough on women. Like if they're too perfect, if they are too nice, then it's a problem too. Also, I kind of like the dream sequence. I like how misty it all feels. Like it almost seems like, you know, a
Yeah.
screen of fog was in front of like the camera. Um, everything just looks really nice. Like so grainy and so like dreamy and foggy. And yeah, I just liked how in the reality part, like the coloring, the filter, the
Mhm.
tone, everything changed. Even the hair too, because her hair looked different.
Yeah.
I felt the teeth too looked different because her teeth.
I always have trouble. I don't know if you have trouble too, but it's like white people having trouble distinguishing Asians. I have trouble distinguishing white people sometimes. So in the first half of the movie, I was like, and then when like Betty switched to Diane, I had trouble in the first few minutes. I was like, is this Betty? She sure does look like Betty. I can't tell, but she doesn't look exactly like Betty. I was kind of confused, but then I made the association. Yeah, she is.
Mhm. Like
But
they did such a good job because she looks like a completely different person. Also,
yeah.
her acting helps with that too. Like
Hmm.
the
Her
makeup,
whole vibe changed.
the
Yeah.
vibe, yeah, like everything. It was amazing. Like I knew her before because she's Naomi Watts and she's like I know the star, so I always know who she is at all points. But I can see other people being confused, you know, because they did such a good job. Like, yeah. And
That's good acting.
like,
Yes.
why in her ideal version she's so fake? Like, because I feel like if I were to conjure up like an ideal version of myself, I would be a bad bitch. Like, I would not like Cinderella or Snow White. Like, oh,
No, but I get it though. I think like what she's trying to do is like if the assumption that she's gone through some sort of trauma earlier in her life or she's someone much darker, this we know is true because a lot of her dream world is based on a lot of aggression towards others. There's some like suppression of violence that she has, and also a lot of I don't know, like fear and all those dark emotions, jealousy, hate, all of these things. But at the end of the day, and failure, yeah, a failure of not, getting to be a Hollywood star and someone picking them over, picking Carmilla over Camilla over her. Like she said at the dinner table, And I think she internalized that criticism. She took it personally. Like when she was talking about the director not choosing her, um she said the director didn't like me. And but she didn't say, the director didn't like my performance or my acting. She just said,
It's
you
like
know,
she has some personal vendetta against me, that kind of thing. Like she like you know,
yeah,
reframed it as like some personal thing and not as a criticism
yeah.
on her performance. You're right, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he internalized it bad. And I think a lot of that comes from like past personal experiences, dealing with failure or just, like trauma, whatever. But so why she turns into Betty in her dream is because this is the idealized version of her where she doesn't get to experience all these sad, traumatic failures.
So she can
Um,
be innocent and bushy.
yeah, it's the
Gotcha.
innocent part. Yeah. And
But
that makes sense to me. Yeah.
it did make sense to me. Like I was saying that myself. I was saying that for me, if I were to, conjure up like an ideal version of myself, it's because my
Hmm.
reality and my experience isn't like her, so I wouldn't conjure up myself as an innocent person, like as my ideal version. Mine would just be more badass. I think I would just want to be a bad bitch, like maybe Camilla in the reality. I don't know. But not her. She's not the coolest, but I'll work on my ideal version in my head and I can debrief to you when it
Do
happens.
you have you ever watched the anime Shogukera? Like 守护甜心?
I've only seen like bits.
It's like I'll just give a brief summary here. It's about this middle school or elementary school girl. And I don't know, they were
So
young.
funny because
I was young.
like when we were watching these things, we think of them as like adults or like people older than us, but when we
Yeah,
look
yeah,
back,
but
they're fucking
mhm.
elementary school kids and people are
Yeah,
writing
they're
fan
full
fiction
elementary.
on.
Yeah. So she wakes up one day and she finds like she laid an egg and it was a pink, pretty gothic kind of egg.
He
And
laid
she
an
was
egg.
like,
He gave birth to one.
no, she just like opens her covers, a duvet, whatever, and she's like, what the hell? There's this pink egg lying between my legs. And then later we know that this egg is like it hatches and turns into a like a personal I would say like translated to English it's like a personal guardian kind of thing,
Okay.
but it's your idealized one of the idealized versions of yourself.
Mm.
And most people only have one, but since she's a protagonist, she gets four in the end. Four. And then back then I was like, I want to have one too. And then I would, imagine or draw, sketch stuff and be like, this is my egg and this is what it would be and this is my idealized version of myself. And
Mhm.
as a kid, they were all like badass bitches, but there would be like two sides. One was like an angel and one was like a badass bitch.
It's similar to Betty in a way, because we could be innocent, like the idealized version could be innocent on the forefront, but when you're dealing with sh people like fucking Bob and like creepy old dudes, you can turn into like a
Yeah.
fast bitch. So it's kind of like Betty. That's
Yeah, but that's a long time ago. That was when I was in middle school, elementary school, more than 10 years ago. I'm old. I feel old. But that's interesting.
We can definitely workshop on our ideal versions. Maybe like for me, I might just do it in terms of like film characters. I want a blend of this person, this person, this person, kind of like
Oh.
protagonist, like you were talking about, like four, because I'm the protagonist of the situation. So I get
That
four.
would be interesting. We could do an episode of that, but honestly, I haven't watched enough movies to be able to come up
Maybe
with one.
like heroines and books, like that kind of thing. Like for you, you could do that. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
Hermione because she's smart.
cool. That could be one. You can workshop the rest. But yeah, chat
Uh,
who's your idealized version in terms of yourself in terms of characters, let us know. Yeah.
yeah.